That was just a small selection of work done on the many Quantel Editbox systems in use around the world today. In the next 20 minutes or so, I'll be telling you how and why Quantel is changing the world of online editing. I'll be showing real systems out there and working on dramas, promos, documentaries, commercials. Around the world, Quantel is editing. And the systems keep on getting better. Introducing Editbox 96, a major upgrade in speed and flexibility to an already powerful system. So what is it about Quantel editing that is attracting broadcasters, production companies and facilities to this new way of working?
There's so many creative options on the Editbox. You can bring so much more to a project.
I could do things with the Editbox that I couldn't do at all in videotape.
So your clients are thinking of you much more as a creative editor.
I don't think there's been one client that we've had in here that hasn't been totally sold it in first edit.
As far as Clearwater are concerned, it is fast and it's also cost effective.
Being a regional facilities company, we've obviously have to take any work that's offered, and have found the Editbox equally at home handling either long or short form programs.
Sometimes you can change the shots quicker than the client can change their mind, it seems like. I mean, they're, oh, do this, well, it's done.
The key to creative editing is flexibility, the ability to produce and compare different versions, the ability to translate ideas into pictures and sound without the technology getting in the way. I'll show you what I mean. So I'll just bring some rushes down to the desk. As you can see, we can look at every single frame and timecode display throughout. I can use the folded editor to get a better idea of the amount of rushes I have to work with and just very easily scroll through them like so. We're going to be using a voiceover and cutting that as a guide track, so I'll separate this out into another reel. And in the view menu, I'm just going to play through and using the hand unit, put some markers in on the fly.
The venue, the Paris Ritz.
So
the occasion, the Chanel party. The host, designer Karl Lagerfeld. The guest list, all the supermodels, and me.
Okay, so that's marked up. I'm going to use that as an audio bed. I'm going to use a folded editor for that as well, so we can see the different sections there for the voiceover. And to start with an opening shot of the Paris Ritz here, I can scroll through on the desk here, or I can go to the viewer menu. I can choose my endpoint more accurately with a full screen image. Then when I return to the desk, all I have to do is to separate this clip out of the rushes and then drop it in over the voiceover like so. And just review that.
The venue, the Paris Ritz. The occasion, the Chanel party.
Okay, back to the rushes then. Again, a very visual system here, just going through, choosing an endpoint. Obviously, I can trim these later on if I'm not happy with them, but just put that, very much point and shoot editing. I've got a number of choices of the images I can use here. I'll take this shot of him. Again, just separating that out and dropping it in. And pick up for the next edit.
The guest list, all the...
So what we're looking for is a wide shot, and I think we'll use this one here. So I separate this out of the rushes, as you can see, and drop it in as we have been doing. Okay, into the final shot then for this sequence.
Me. Oh, I've never done this before.
So we need a shot of our report, and we'll do something a little bit different this time. I'm just going to extend this, and we'll do a back time, something we do every day as editors. There's the shot. I separate that out. That's the last frame of what I need. And then as I drop it here to the last frame, you can see it's just back time that shot into our edit. And we'll just review that cut.
List, all the supermodels, and me. I've never done this before.
Okay, I'm not quite happy with that. I think I want to change that into a dissolve. So there it is. I'll call up a dissolve and review that as a mix.
Guest list, all the supermodels, and me. I've never done this before.
Okay, just a little bit more here. I've finished up the rushes now. I can throw those off the desk. This shot's a little bit green for my liking. So what I'm going to do is to separate that out of the edit and take it down and do something about that in the color corrector. So what I'm going to do here is just say take out some of that green tinge, as you can see. Maybe just a little bit too much red in there, and process that. So there you go, processing that clip on a 2-hour system in real time. And now that I've got my new clip, all I have to do is to drop that into the program like so. So not only an edit, but a revision in the color corrector, as you can see, very quickly indeed. We just want to do a little bit with the audio. So as I go down into the audio menu here, you can see the shots as they've been checkerboarded. The shots here a little bit too loud. So I'm just going to change the volume on that, bring the volume down a little bit on that shot. Let's just review that.
The guest list, all the supermodels.
and maybe the one before, and I think I'd just like to crossfade those as well. So I'm just going to go through and just create mixes there. So we've got a much nicer audio balance between that. Let's just review that.
The guest list, all the supermodels, and me. I've never done this before.
So you can see Editbox performs like no other system. You might be surprised about how affordable it is. Another surprise is the pen and tablet interface, invented by Quantel and adapted from our graphics systems. It is a great way to edit.
When I first got my hands on the Editbox, I found the design of the menu system, the head-up display, very intuitive.
I never liked working with a mouse.
I picked up the pen, picked up the clip, and figured it out. And it was easy to do.
The learning curve in terms of online editing has been very fast.
And it does seem to me very, not easy, but it's easy to see what is happening.
Working with the wand or the pen, I enjoyed that. I didn't expect to.
With Editbox, the pen and tablet interface is allowing editors to control 601 uncompressed digital video, giving them total creative freedom and, of course, producing some great-looking pictures.
As far as my clients are concerned, I know that I'm giving them the best quality that's available today.
They do think, gosh, when I work with Dave, that image is gorgeous. Everything that comes out of that room is beautiful.
Obviously, the picture quality of Editbox is superb.
Now I'm in the business of getting the best quality, so why shouldn't it look good?
It makes for a nicer image.
Quantel says it all. I mean, they've been working with 601 for years now.
Superb pictures from a fast, flexible and easy-to-use system. Exactly what you'd expect from us at Quantel. But what about the digitizing time? Seen as the only limitation of nonlinear editing, only with Quantel, it is not a limitation. Imagine a scenario where you're editing whilst you're digitizing. It's called Scene Select, and it is unique to Quantel. So here I've gone back to my in-out menu, and we're going to bring some material in using Scene Select. Now what this does is I play, it's recording into a buffer. You can see the cursor is red here, indicating that we are actually loading into Editbox, and using the rat, I can put edit points as in points and out points for the material that I'm loading in. Once I'm happy with the shot, I can just shuttle through, and as it shuttles, it stops recording. So I can wait for a shot change, this one here, and put the tape into play. Notice as soon as the tape is in play again, that's recording, so I can drop another in point, say somewhere here, and one like so. Again, just go through and look for another take. People just arriving there. And now, then we'll just load a couple more. Okay, and one more shot to end with. So we'll go for this zoom out. So I mark, camera starts to zoom out. And as I said, all of this has been loaded into a buffer. So once I stop recording, I can now go and view that buffer. And here are all the images which I've just loaded in from tape. We're now playing back from Editbox. So I can see the various sections here, and I'm going to tell it that I want a number of tail frames at the head and tail of every shot that I select. I'm going to start with the very last shot that I brought in, the zoom out. I'm going to choose my in point and my out point like so. Then we'll go back up to the shot of the boats here, again just choosing the sections that I want. So I'm here, just a little bit from there. And maybe finishing with the people arriving like so. The beauty about Scene Select is that's my edit assembled. I return to the desk and it's done. There it is at the end of my pen. I'll just play through that for you. So this is the future for tape. to be included as an integral part of the random access editing process. No restrictions, just an approach that gives you the best from both tape and disc. You're used to nonlinear flexibility in offline. Quantel Scene Select gives you that flexibility in online. And it is online that Editbox is designed for. It handles your offline EDLs perfectly. Conforms have never been so trouble-free or so fast. And you have full edit flexibility after the conform.
When I'm conforming an offline list on the Editbox, one of the things that clients and editors alike have always said to me is, I can't believe how fast it is.
Editbox is extremely quick at auto-conforming.
Speed of conforming on Editbox is tops.
It is almost embarrassing how quick the system conforms.
Every slow-mo, every double speed, every dissolve that I've ever put in my list has been perfectly performed by the system.
The biggest advantage we find with the machine is just its sheer power as handling EDLs.
You have the flexibility. You can bring all your shots in with heads and tails, and you can move things around very, very fast.
Clients have really noticed an increase in speed of conforming the project.
What's more, Editbox 96 makes conforms faster and more flexible than before. I'll just go down to the EDL menu and read in a list. Okay, you'll notice that we now have alphanumeric real IDs here and a soft cassette selection box here. We'll send that into AutoFetch and bring in that material in with 10 frames of tails. So what we've got here is a very, very efficient event reporting. I know exactly which event it's going for here on my status bar, the duration of that, and the transitions in and out of that. Editbox is bringing this list in C mode assembly, so it's not going to ask you to load a tape in twice. This particular conform is a job that we've been working on, so some of the material already exists in the system, and Editbox knows that. Although there are dissolves and wipes in the list, Editbox doesn't need to pre-read this. We can play back those dissolve events in real time. Okay, just finished loading the sound in there. It tells me all the clips are recorded. And now as I hit conform, there it is done. I go back to the desk and there it is. There's the edit at the end of my pen. In the viewer menu, I can just jump through each of the edit points live. There's one of the dissolves that was called for, and I'll just play through that sequence. So a mixture of cars there, external shots of red cars and purple cars. Now imagine we've got a second list as we have here, and this time the director wants a different version, but the external shots of red cars only. I'm going to go back into my EDL menu and read in that list. And as I hit auto fetch, Editbox knows that it's got all of that material already, so it's conformed that from information already on disk, and I can just take that back and play that version for you. So there you are, external shots of the red car only. And once you're in the online session, Editbox really performs. Its integrated approach and its unmatched toolset delivers real flexibility, the kind of power that solves problems.
They shot two different plates. They shot the bulls running down the street, and then they shot the man running down the street. And my task was to composite those two elements together. And I found that using Editbox's difference mat capability gave me a great head start.
One of the things that we found Editbox very good at is creating a film feel to videotape shot material.
He turned his head right at the best part of the shot had a big film scratch. And he was like, yeah, man, maybe we should find another shot. I'm like, oh no. Popped it into retouch, went in, painted the scratch out in seconds.
We had a color issue after the color correction. And I was concerned because I'm going, geez, we color corrected this already, and that is pink, and there are other elements within the picture that are pink. Can I truly isolate it? And in 4 minutes, it was done.
If you have shots that aren't too upright, like we had with some Steadicam material, you can just reframe the clock that round as well. We do that quite a lot. I know it's cheating, if you like, but the tricks are in the box.
We're going to try something new. Fred Burkover lent us the material for that same Hardee's commercial, and we're going to recreate that same situation he was talking about there. I'm going to play you part of that commercial now.
This is 100% ground steak, 33% more beef than a Whopper, and the Char Deluxe comes on a bun, baked fresh every day at Hardee's. Hurry in and try Hardee's new Char Deluxe.
Okay, so here's a pack for the Hero Burger shot that he was talking about. The nice thing about Editbox is that all the elements are saved. So here we can see the original shot, and there's the pink burger he was talking about. Here we've got different art cards here. First of all, an art card which is cutting through the flames, and then the legal on the top of that pack. As I said, Editbox has got all of those settings that it still remembers, so I take that down into our mix effects area and look at all of those 3 layers combined. Now the Hero Burger is actually the bottom layer of the pack, and we can go through and isolate that. So as you can see, we've got that to contend with. Now what we're going to do here, first of all, is to do a slight hue rotation. Just darken that slightly, and then say we want to do this selectively. So you can see, just using the color corrector, I'm just able to isolate those areas. So here we have the 3-layer pack with the new Hero Burger shot color corrected in the background. So it's no surprise that Editbox's flexibility is reflected where it really matters, in the bottom line.
From day one on the Editbox, I mean, seriously, day one, this thing has been booked solid. I mean, I don't know if you can see the black circles around my eyes, but it's been rocking.
So they get a lot more from their post-production budget.
I have not advertised the system.
I know how long it's going to take, and I know that at the end of the day, we're going to come out of it within our budgetary bounds.
In 1 year, the Editbox has paid for itself.
Online flexibility, the range, to 3 video, and with between 5 to 5 process. About system speed. Tape archiving allows jobs to be saved and reloaded with every setup just where you left it. It's easy to make changes days, weeks, or months after the first edit. Quantel systems use only professional video, audio, and control interconnects. The serial digital interface for video and audio, AES EBU for digital audio, and RS-422 for VTR control. The Open Platform Exchange Network option allows background Ethernet transfer of images to other Quantel equipment, and via TCP/IP to equipment from other manufacturers, a genuinely open approach. All Quantel edit systems are fully compatible with the Clipbox video server. Clipbox allows up to 8 edit seats to work with the same pool of video and audio. No conflicts, no waiting, just access to your material when you want it. Clipbox can form the heart of a total post-production facility. But that's not the end of the Editbox story. I've only shown you a fraction of its online power capabilities. In this next section, we've got a blue screen horse here, and I've got to color correct the background it's got to go over. I have created a basic pack for that, but I want to work on the background layer a little bit more, so I'm going to separate that out. Just take a single frame and take this down into Paintbox. And what I want to do is to create a gorge just in the middle of the picture here. So I'll just take an airbrush, just scale that a little bit. There are a number of ways to do this, but I'm just going to airbrush in, just darken the center of the image there, and create that, and then sell that single frame back to the desk. Just repeat that for the length that I want it, and then replace it in the pack like so. So, as I take the pack down into Mix Effects, it is a 3-layer pack. We can see the background here. I'll just step through to the middle so you can see the key shape of the horse. The middle layer, I've actually got the key shape of the horse over black. You can see the transparency in there. And we're going to create a displacement shadow on that. So using part of the curvier linear DVE, all I have to do is to select a point, and I'm just distorting that shape like so. Do the same with the top of that. Okay, so that's the new shape of the horse. Okay, but that's the shadow layer. So if I take that back, we can see where the horse is going to be, the actual key, and the shadow is going to be displaced like so. Just a little bit of work to do with the background layer. If I isolate that, what I want to do is just to change the color of that. I want to warm up the color of the grass. So we're going to use the hue rotation there. Right now it's affecting the entire image. So somewhere like that, and then I say make that a selective color correction. So I'm just tapping down in the green there and just changing those areas like so. All right, so there we have it, all 3 layers. We'll put that together. Remember, 3 layers of 601 video being processed right now. We've got the background layer, which has got a color correction and the little retouch from Paintbox there, the key of the horse, and then using our curvilinear DVE to displace that shadow, all being put together in front of you, all at 601 quality. And I can go back to any of those layers and adjust it if I need to do so. Here's the end result at the end of my pen, back on the desk. It's a very simple exercise, but showing you some of the creative power of the Quantel Editbox. This brief presentation has only just touched on some of Editbox's capabilities. Let's give our users the last word.
I'm making money with the Editbox.
We're doing the same amount of spots they did in 3.5 days in 8 to 10 hours.
For me, Editbox solves a lot of problems.
It's cleaner. It's all 601 uncompressed.
It's random access.
The best decision we've ever made.
It's there in one box.
They're tickled pink.
I fell in love.
It solves my problems.
It's good.